Wow, guys, I can't wait for the Disco Elysium lecture, right?
Who's your favorite Transformer? Mine is Starscream.
Mine's is the
My mom.
one that's a boat.
I like the one that peed on the guy in the movie.
Dion, what's your favorite Transformer?
So we're gonna get into that, but here's the thing. His name is Blur, and he's actually the best character known to fiction. So the thing about Blur is that he's a speedster amongst the Cybertronians, and that means that he talks at an accelerated pace. And for the original Gen 1 series, the continuity, his voice actor was really cool because the bit was that he was the record fastest talker at the time. So he would pulls out the phone to get list of Blur videos that I have. So his bit is really good because he talked just like me for real, which is to say that if he gets excited or worked up, he tends to just repeat what he says and repeat what he says and repeat what he says over ad infinitum.
He would be a good Shocky U lecturer.
Yeah.
He'd be a really good Shocky lecturer.
We should get him sometime.
Except he would get really pissy about an annoying noise he hears in the background somewhere, or that's not correct.
Like, he wouldn't like that.
The Alamo.
The Alamo.
That's precarious.
Yes.
What the?
I did it! Maybe I should feel better about this coffee. This fucking dog water.
Pulls out.
Wait, you said Twix coffee?
Yes, it's actual.
Everything here tastes
dog,
like shit.
dog water.
Except the Royal Farms fries, am I right?
Royal
Except
Farms.
for fries. And the sub. Oh my god.
Bars. Eminem in his prime. fucking Tech 9.
Do better, do better. Do better, Tyler, do better.
Why does he look like
I
that?
want him to start a
Because he's
rap
blue! This is my mission statement, by the way. Don't get me started because
he
I
looks
do.
like
If
the
you
man
do.
in the mirror from fucking Sleeping Beauty.
But yeah, Blur's line here is actually my mission statement for this upcoming lecture, which is to say, don't get me started, because if you do, I will never stop. And if I never stop, you're gonna wish you never got me started in the first place.
The whole point of Shocky U is to get started.
So why don't we get things started? Why don't we get things started on the Shaka Show tonight? Welcome to Cybertronian Anatomy 101. So, before we get started, here's the important question. What's a Cybertronian?
Those are like the species, right?
An Autobot or a Decepticon.
Robot guy, good guy.
The size of the planet.
That's all the Autobots are the good guys.
Oh.
Not entirely true.
Oh.
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 It's a Transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the politically
Good
correct
point.
term.
Why is Bumblebee so short? Holy
Cybertronian
shit.
individual.
Oh
You
my
can't
God.
say Transformer with a hard R anymore.
Oh my god, I nearly forgot. Yeah, for the entirety of this lecture,
Poggers.
we're going to be
Let's
having
go.
my co-lecturer, Bumblebee.
And Harold.
Lieutenant Bumblebee.
Yo!
Harold.
Don't worry about
And Harold.
Harold will come into play later.
Okay.
But,
Are old.
so, here's the long answer. A Cybertronian... Actually, can I have something to, like, point and all that?
It's the Death Star.
Do we have like a laser
That's
pointer?
not
or
the
do you-
Death-
Yeah.
The Death Star. Here, have a giant fettuccine.
What the fuck? Stop pulling out like random
Stop giving me
pieces of
random
steel
bullshit.
wood.
Go!
Take this.
What do you mean? This will totally work as a pointer.
long.
Yeah, maybe if you're
This is
Bourbon
a-
Supreme, bro.
This is an anatomy lecture. I need something thin. Leave it.
Oh my god.
Careful.
I thought he was about to eat shit. Oh my
Give
god.
me a second, I'll look around. I'm still listening.
I kind of have a pen. Does this work, folks?
I
Pencil?
guess.
I mean,
It points.
It could be longer, I feel.
Could be longer.
Use the pendulum.
I catch them.
¿Tú quieres?
Oh, oh.
The black sword of nylon.
Sensational. So, Cybertronians are a race of silicon-based life forms originating from the planet Cybertron, the 5th planet in the Alpha Centauri star system.
Wait, that's the same star system as the Avatar people.
Smiles.
Oh no!
Pandora.
Is it all connected, Tyler?
Yes, Dan.
They're silicon based like the gems.
5th planet from the major star of the Alpha Centauri star system. They are a mechanical, inorganic race that are known to scan the local residents of planets that they visit in order to mimic their forms and assimilate easily amongst them.
Does this mean what I think it means?
What do you think it means?
They put up on Earth and they say like, wow, this Ford F-150 is truly
We poisoned them with capitalism.
So
They're like, we need to blend in, and they turn into a
Firstly-
Mustang.
yeah. Is that why they turned into cars? A big
So
misunderstanding.
the thing about
Was it a prank?
it was kind of a misunderstanding. At least in the Transformers animated continuity, it goes like this. When a Transformer comes to Earth for the first time, they see the vehicles that humans are walking alongside or riding inside and assume the cars are the main life form, the humans are pets.
Yeah.
Because A, Cybertronians are usually pretty huge, large, and B, a lot of them already turned into vehicles. So when they see cars and
They
planes...
just happen to already have that.
So... Hey, you wanna know why we're doing an anatomy lecture?
Fucking
Oh,
Honda Civic.
Because we're
from-
going to talk about that. So, this is the planet Cybertron right here. And the thing about the planet Cybertron is that it's also Cybertronian itself. This is the body of their main god, Primus.
Whoa!
Whoa, okay, it's a
So,
lot.
This is
Primus
the
gave his
Bugatti.
life in order to create a planet in order his life form creations could exist safely on. And then he created something called the Allspark, which is the source of all life on Cybertron.
Damn.
It is essentially a big power source that can create itty bitty small versions of itself that carry a energy code life force thing. So that's mas importante. And for the purposes of this lecture, I'm going to be utilizing
Huh?
my character that I created with my hands. Say hello to Communications Officer, designation Wilco. This is their base ref sheet, but I think we can go one step further. So we're gonna
Tramp
start
stamp is crazy.
Autobot Tramp Stamp. This is actually a very slightly outdated design note. So we're gonna go one step further. We're gonna peel Wilco like a banana. Section 1. This is a protoform. A protoform is essentially an empty shell for a spark to inhabit. Because a spark in and of itself isn't capable of making things move like in a way they wouldn't have already. So in order to give an Autobot life, you need to give them a body that they can operate. So most Autobots and Decepticons, Transformers, Cybertronians begin as a frame, which is a metallic robotic shell that is essentially built to be able to locomote and do all the business of existing once powered up. So here we have all the points of anatomy. Number 1 is a central processing unit. That's essentially just a big old computer in their brain that they use in order to think, process sensory output, etc. 2, those are their optics. Who'da thunk? You see through them. So optics are also an indication of an Autobot's faction. So if an Autobot's a Cybertronian's faction, so if they belong to the Decepticons, they'll usually have red or purple or yellow as their eye color. And if they're an Autobot, it can be green or yellow or blue. Mostly blue. And then Decepticons are mostly red. Number 3, audioles. Those are microphones in the sides of the head that are basically ears. 4, your intake. 5, your dente. And 6, your glossa. Your intake is a valve at the front where a human's mouth would be that leads to their major vents. They can take in gases and such through these vents, blow it out. It's just a tube. Glossa, that's their version of a tongue. Fun fact is that glossa is a term that's usually used in invertebrates, such as bugs or mollusks. And it's usually like a, what's the word? It's kind of like a radula, which is a sort of sweeping tooth. But a glossa, hand?
I have no idea what a radula is. Can you explain that more?
Is like if your tongue had teeth on it.
Oh, like snails, right?
Yes, like snails. Except in the sense of a glossa, there are no teeth on that. Those are dentae. Dentae are essentially metallic enamel chunks in their mouth. There's no actual use for their teeth, though, because for the most part, the only thing that's going in here is gases and / or energon. Energon is hand raised.
Professor, then why do they have teeth?
It depends on the continuity. In some continuities, energon cubes are gelatinous and can be bitten into, but in most, energon is a beverage. I don't know why they have teeth. Sometimes they just do. But also in the Gen 1 continuity, the shows and such, they usually don't have teeth visible. It's usually just a solid colored mouth.
Yeah.
So dentae could be an entirely new development or simply not real. Alright, 7, arm struts. Arms. 8, servos. So these are the main opposable digits on a Cybertronian's hand. Not always 5-fingered though, and not always looking so much like hands. In the context of my other character, named Oracle, they have 3 silicon digits on each hand that would still be referred to as servos. Wilco's just so happen to look like human fingers. 9, the spark chamber. This is where the spark is held and contained. If anything happens to this, the spark may grow unstable and could just straight up fall out of the mech. So, very important to make sure that's working correctly. That's essentially where you would find an Autobot's heart. I'm going to continue saying Autobot because Wilco is an Autobot. Leg struts. Legs. Suspension. Not every Cybertronian actually has a suspension. It's mostly just like a car. Absorbs shock when taking off, landing, bouncing around and all that. Wilco has it, for important reasons that we'll see later. 12, peds, feet.
For Dan
Usually-
Schneider.
What?
Size. Usually, they bend, they can do all that business. Underneath this layer, there is a network of sensory circuits, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell what those look like because we've never peeled a Cybertronian to that level. At least I haven't seen it. But it's essentially where all the, tactile sensory input can come in through. Fun fact, there is an occasion in which something will dent this frame and it will press on one of the sensory units and they will interpret that feeling as pain. So, they can feel pain, and they do have feelings. They are only robotic in appearance. Essentially, what's going on in here is them actually. This is just outward business.
Oh,
Kind of like how we're just brains.
like gems and brains.
We're not just brains. The whole body is important. Integrate all of your senses. Wholeness, wellness.
Your brain is
man.
inside your skeleton, your
Nah,
skeleton's
man.
inside your meat suit. Your
I'm
meat
just a
suit's inside
ball
your
in the
skin.
machine.
You are not just the thing that's thinking. You are your feet. You are your arms.
But I'm talking about from just a human perspective.
I'm not my
It's
toe.
up here. The
Yeah.
conscious-
You are your toe.
No, they don't say I'm a toe.
Yeah.
They say I have toes.
You said, you are your toe.
I'm a human being, not a human doing. Section 2 is sparks. So, right there, that's a spark. Wilco's is blue in color. Why? Because I think the blue color fits their general color palette.
I said so.
Because I said
Yeah.
so! You can tell that Wilco is not a bot due to the color of their optics. So, sparks. Created by the Allspark en masse, just hanging out. there are storage containments that you can put these sparks in until a frame is ready for them to inhabit, and during this time they are in stasis. They aren't really awake, they're not conscious, and the only thing that this is, when it's not in a frame, is just energy and raw data.
Whoa.
Nothing happens until it inhabits the body and begins to think via the CPU. So, if I were to decide that Wilco needs to die, this spark right here would extinguish and return to the Allspark, because energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be redirected. Once a spark is extinguished, it returns to the source, and that's essentially the Cybertronians' idea of an afterlife. When they die, they go to the Well of Allsparks and they meet Primus. Fun.
Almost Buddhist.
So, like, can you take a spark out of one frame and put it in another?
Yes,
will
you
it
can.
still be the same person, or does it
will be.
vary?
So here's what happened in the Transformers animated continuity. There is a character known as Prowl. His spark is damaged after a very terrible explosion, and he takes his damaged spark and he puts it into a new frame. However, the spark itself had been damaged, and so it extinguishes after it joins this new body. So if you were to safely remove one spark, and then, safely bring it to another frame, that Autobot, or that Decepticon, will continue living. Which is a general method of first aid for these guys. If their frame is completely fucked beyond repair, they'll just take your spark out, get a frame in a similar model, and put it in and put you in that one. And you can argue all you want, like, is it the same thing? It is. The sparks are the raw data. If you move a hard drive, it doesn't make it a new thing, you know? Section 3 is called plating. So, after you've been sparked up, and you're ready to become a working member of the Cybertronian Society, you are given a designation, and you are provided with an occupation. So Wilco is a communications officer. So
Damn, it's like the B movie.
So, Wilco's a communications officer, and their upgrades reflect that. Number 1, they have sensory antennae. These are essentially a new sensory organ that they have, so they can pick up on general vibrations in the air, as well as other...
Like the sixth sense of sharks.
Kind of. Also, there's this thing called an EM field, an electromagnetic field. Every Cybertronian has one, and every Cybertronian can feel the EM field of another. Sometimes these are translated to carrying the emotions and feelings of the Cybertronian in question, so you can stand near another Cybertronian, feel how jagged their EM field
The
is,
vibes.
and being like, damn, Iron Core's pissed right now. In some continuities, this could even be portrayed as a sort of short-range telepathy. But you don't really need short-range telepathy when you have a long-range telepathy. 2, radio antennae. So, most Cybertronians communicate long distance via a comlink, which can be either a message that appears in their heads-up display, or it can be the sound of that person, the Cybertronian they're speaking to, like their thoughts. They can transfer those over to you via radio waves. Essentially just telepathy. Because Wilco is a communications officer, they are a long-range, they have a very long-range comlink.
Like Soundwave.
Kinda. Number 3, windshield. Wilco is a helicopter. Wilco has a windshield. Number 4, biolights. These are organic lights. Organic.
Because it's from like the spark, right?
Yeah. The spark powers these lights, so it's essentially like an indicator of their spark's like strength. If their biolights flicker off or dim, it's like, oh, okay, they're not feeling well. But they can also manually like put on the high beams or turn these off for various situations. So it's not like if the headlights are off, there's no one upstairs, you know? But generally a good indicator. Section 4. Disguises. Transformers, robots in disguise. So when Wilco came to Earth, they saw a helicopter. They were like, hell yeah! So, Harold has entered the field. Wilco can turn into one of these bad boys, except, you know, not this bad boy specifically. After a transformer chooses a new alt mode to transform into, sometimes their appearance will change to reflect that. And sometimes they will gain new appendages to, you know, so they don't have to make a new one every time they transform. They can, but they shouldn't have to. Number 1, these are their rotor wings. These can be used both in your alt mode and also in your root mode, which is to say the bipedal kind of humanoid form that they just have. So if Wilco is in alt mode, they can just fly like a helicopter. You've seen it. Whoop, 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 whoop. If they're in root mode, they can use them sort of like wings of a fairy. Not every wing-bearing fucking Cybertronian is like this. Like, in the event of, say, Starscream, sometimes they just hover. But Wilco has wings, so they flutter. Number 2, engine compartment. This is the unit in which Energon, the main energy source of Cybertronians, aside from their sparks, is, you know, used. Actually, I should probably get into that. Energon and sparks. So, sparks are a power source, but they're just a spark. And when you have a spark, you need something that gets ignited by it, and, you know, are you familiar with how an engine works?
No.
Yeah.
So a combustion engine is worked by you ignite something which heats up water or creates gas, and that gas, which is pressurized, makes the engine turn, which in turn makes things go. So the spark is the spark that ignites the energon, which cycles through their body and makes all the body stuff happen.
So what's the equivalent of water here?
Your spark is your heart, and your energon is your blood. Water is mostly just a coolant.
So spark ignites the energon.
Spark ignites energon, energon powers body. The thing that's really important about Cybertronians in this day and age is that they are in an energon crisis, because there is a finite amount of energon, which means sometimes frames just cannot be filled, which means that there are a lot of sparks in stasis right now that are just chilling, because they physically do not have the resources required in order to bring them to life. Hand raised.
Okay. So, why doesn't the spark just extinguish if it doesn't have the energon to light? Does it continually light itself?
So, the sparks that are not in frames right now are being held in stasis, which is just nothing. They're just sitting there. It's a safe storage method. Every Cybertronian can also go into stasis, in which they just power down for a while and just become their spark and not, like, bring any power to the rest of their body. This is an energy conservation thing, but also they can just do it if they're bored, because they do a lot of deep space travel, and sometimes you do straight up have to turn your brain off and just let time pass. That's also
cool.
That's also the mythos behind a few permanent vehicle versions of Cybertronians, such as Teletran 1, Omega Supreme, Nemesis Prime. These are all Cybertronians that have permanently gone into stasis while in their alt modes, and as such are just vehicles now. However, the Cybertronians that use them as vehicles will still refer to them by their names, treat them with respect, etc. In Transformers Animated, there is a really well-known Autobot, Omega Supreme, who is the main ship for our Autobot crew, and he's the strongest member of the team. He has the heaviest artillery, biggest guns, biggest body, but he's also permanently in stasis, so he's just gonna...
Can they just come out? Can someone just wake him up, or...?
So, you could, but because he is huge, large, anything
It's
he
not
do...
energy efficient.
It's really not energy efficient. So, big bots like that were made for the Great Cybertronian War, in which, you know, a lot of Cybertronians got into a fight.
There's a really fun video game about that.
There's a really fun video game about that, and there's also a lot of different pieces of media showing that. But a lot of big bots like that, after the war ended, straight up cannot, like, exist regularly in Cybertronian society.
You're good.
You see why I put that there now?
Perilous, Tyler. Perilous. The audience will never know how much danger they were in just now.
You
I
almost
think they
got
might, and they
it.
watched the camera go like this.
They didn't watch the camera, they were the camera.
And we heard
That was at least 100 viewers you just
So, it's straight up not energy efficient for them to exist on Cybertron, and their programming makes it really hard to integrate with society, so it's just easier for them to remain as vehicles. It's like a really long nap. It's, in terms of Cybertronian things, it's kind of like an honorable discharge. It's high point of honor. If you end up like that, most people that ride in you will respect you. If you want to really go and ride with me, smoke a blunt in the back and then something. Final thing. Wilco has doors.
Damn.
There's 2 of them.
Tramp stamp.
The fucking Cybertrussy.
2. So,
Forgive me.
I didn't put this in the slideshow, but because you opened this can of worms.
Remember the disclaimer at the beginning, Jackson.
And there they stood at the Garden of Eden.
Looks in the camera. So there's this thing called valve plug, right?
No!
So valve plug is the fictional erotica made of Cybertronians. And there
This is
are
Is this canon? Is it canon, yes or no?
so
Yes or no?
So, is it canon? So
Is Transformers sex real?
So well, it's like so there's this thing, right?
No, yeah, there are lots of things, yeah.
So Cybertronians in most continuities reproduce asexually through the usage of implanting sparks in frames. But in some continuities, there is a
Are they canon continuities?
There is an outdated method of reproduction in which
Oh my god.
in which when 2 Cybertronians love each other very much, there's this thing called interfacing.
Interfacing?
Oh, like
It's like
Disco
gems.
Elysium, like the skill in Disco Elysium.
No!
Skills.
Gems don't interface.
There's this thing called interfacing, and there are 2 ways this can happen. There are 2 methods. One of them is called sticky, and one of them is called plug and play.
Oh god, bro.
Sticky is exactly what it sounds like. It's sticky. There are fluids. Things go in holes. That plug and play is a little more tame, in which most Cybertronians have a port somewhere on their body referred to as a medical port. If they have malware or a virus, get it? Because it's like bacteriophages, but it's a computer virus, because they're computers. If they get Rafflecopter. Yep, right there. There they are, the Rafflecopter.
Why are we doing this?
Hasn't recovered.
No, Roland is like looking away from the screen. He
hasn't
cannot take
recovered.
this.
Scared.
Guy
He
who
hasn't
calls
changed
furry for a
he didn't
living.
change those things.
I don't trust you.
There's no Cybertronian
I don't
hentai
trust
on
you.
the fucking board.
I don't trust like that.
Damn, Optimus Prime got it going on like that.
So, yo, I didn't know Megatron could. I didn't know Star
Bro,
Wars could do
without the
that.
prime member.
Alright,
Bro, without the
so.
prime member.
Plug and play, right? So there's a medical port that can be used to access a set of ports and wires, which if the Cybertronian is affected with a virus or malware or just needs to get some data from their body into something else, a trained physician can take a wire, plug it into that port, and get a computer and do everything they need to.
Dope.
However, there is a method of interfacing in which when two robots take their medical ports and whatever wires they need to, they will,
This is literally Avatar sex.
They bust out the link cable and start trading Pokemon.
you know how a male-to-male wire will result in the device usually catching fire because it just overheats?
Yeah.
Wait, built-in homophobia for Transformers?
Actually, no. So, the medical ports that I'm talking about are just like... It's like this. It's just HDMI ports, jacks, etc.
Jax.
Oh, we'll get there. So, it's like having a male-to-male wire. The charge is just being passed back and forth between these things. It is heating up, and,
Wait, so like,
completion for Cybertronian is referred to as an overload, in which the charge in their body simply becomes too much for them to bear, and they experience power surge, and then all their systems offline for a few seconds.
Does overload hurt?
Overload is supposed to be just kind of like a release.
Oh god.
someone sat in a room and made this shit up.
Jackson
In their head.
opened this can of worms, and just like Blur said, do not get me started.
Can of words.
Hey.
Like
Because-
season 11, episode
Jackson?
6 of Red Dwarf.
So, do Cybertronians have like, do they have gender?
So, gender is similar to the way I presented it in Gender 101, which has not been uploaded because I didn't finish the thumbnail, in which it's more of a physical presentation and a emotional thing. So, Cybertronians are asexual by nature, and in the events that you're in a continuity in which they have genitals, most, if not every Cybertronian has both an input and an output. The input is referred to as a spike.
Yo!
The output is referred to as a valve, or vice versa. The thing that goes in the thing is a spike, and the thing that gets things put in it is a valve.
Destroy gender, Transformers!
Then,
Jackson?
to follow up that question,
Nod?
do they have like?
Stop asking questions. John.
No, this is important questions.
Do they
When I
have
was in my
I'm trying to censor him.
so
Like for like
amongst the fictional fandom of the Cybertronians, a mech that prefers their valve being used is typically referred to as a valve mech, and
Bottoms and
wait, they can choose?
they can choose.
bottoms and Transformers!
Most Transformers
Literally
are
Roland.
hermaphrodites in nature, but they can choose which one they prefer.
They're dual wielding.
They're dual wielding, so typically it's... This is where Wilco's modesty panel would be. Modesty panel!
Modesty panel.
You know what? I'm actually glad the lecture went to this point because Cybertronian Anatomy in strictly canon is cool and all, but once you get into what we have started doing with it, that's where the fun really gets started.
Fucking modesty.
Roland?
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question.
Yes.
I want no details, just a yes or no answer, okay?
Yes.
Did Optimus Prime do this?
Is Optimus
do
Prime
what?
a valve
What did he
or
Do it!
is Optimus Prime a valve or a spike?
So, that depends who you ask.
Fucked.
That depends who you ask.
I would fuck Optimus Prime.
I just wanted a yes or no answer, guys!
I believe that Optimus Prime interfaces. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for the
I
answer.
believe that being a Prime does not make you a required celibate. I think that Optimus Prime, at some point, even before he was a Prime, may have interfaced at some point.
Roland, do you want a code bottom for Optimus Prime?
No.
What does that mean? Wait, you get in the truck cabin? And you like drive?
Wait, does this mean Wait, was it Shia LaBeouf in the movie?
Yeah.
Is Shia LaBeouf a bottom now because of...
No, he's a top.
Shia LaBeouf is a human.
Well, I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know, Shia LaBeouf is the human. Yeah, he bottoms for Optimus.
So, Shia LaBeouf in the
crawls with
Bayverse
his tomb.
movies is generally interpreted to not have romantic feelings towards whatever Transformer he's hanging out with.
I seen that one clip from Transformers
However-
Prime. That shit was crazy.
However, in the most recent Transformers Bayverse movie, Rise of the Beasts, the protagonist Noah is generally interpreted to have a romantic relationship with the main Autobot in that movie, Mirage.
Is it gay?
Kind of.
Is Mirage like voiced by a male voice actor?
Mirage is a male presenting.
Hell yeah! Michael Bay win!
Michael Bay.
Broed in hospital or ambulance. He broed in the movie Ambulance, and I knew he was coming around. I knew he saw the light. Good things were coming.
So
I know there's this clip from like Transformers Prime that gets posted around sometimes. Where it's like all the Transformers and like the human kid they hang out with are chilling in their base, and then the kid's mom walks in like, "Hey, so where's Optimus?"
I remember very distinctly which clip you were talking about.
Yeah.
So continuing down this rabbit hole, pushes this
Is it
over.
possible?
Tyler, is this blocking the screen in any way?
No.
Awesome. This is where Wilco's modesty panel would be. The modesty panel is a panel that houses all their interfacing equipment. It's called the modesty panel because, you know, it covers your junk. Typically, it's a spike in front, valve, you know, where a valve would be.
That's dope.
Spikes and valves are also open to modification, just like the rest of the Cybertronian's body.
Wait, that's so cool. They can truly modify their body to reflect however they wish to present.
What?
What's the proof that like they have like genitalia? What's the proof?
I know the.
Where do they show this?
I want humans to evolve into Transformers.
I'm leading into fanon, but this is also widely accepted fanon. There could be basis for this. I haven't been into Transformers long enough to know. However, I'm aware of if it gets to the point where specific erotica of this species has a name, and the types of erotica have specific names, and the anatomy of the erotica has a specific name that you learn, rather than it just being called penises and vaginas, makes me think that somebody somewhere had to come up with this. Obviously. Someone's at fault here.
Someone's to blame.
And fan ideas are equally as valid as creator ideas, because we're just a bunch of fucking humans making shit up.
Especially since amongst the Transformers OC making community, valve plug isn't like an optional thing, it's just kind of a given. Like...
Also, have we mentioned your Transformer is cool as fuck?
Smile, thank you! Wilco is my first Transformers OC. I like their design.
Want to make a Transformers
I like
OC.
their design a lot, but I fear that sometimes it's a little too much like a robot that just looks like a person. I think that my second design of my other character, Oracle, which we will probably show at the end of this lecture, is a lot better in terms of character design.
Have you seen or heard of the movie Metropolis from like the 1920s, Germany, black and white?
Oh, but like not at all.
It fucked. It's worth a Google. It looks like the android from that movie.
Wonderful.
Scared me.
So,
pre-Nazi Germany fucked.
Valve plug is shrimply a way of life amongst the Transformers OC community. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you make an OC, most people will assume that that OC has a spike in a valve, you just haven't drawn it yet.
Oh, this is starting to become a problem.
What?
Closing remarks.
Is that canon? Is that canon?
Come on, man.
Yes, it is canon. Did I hear a yes? Did I hear a yes?
What slurs can I say as a Decepticon? Hard cut. Here I was going to put the speed paint for all of the drawings I made of Wilco for this video, and then it shrimply didn't work. So what I am going to do instead is that I'm going to send the video to the Discord, the Shaka U Discord, as well as the images of Oracle, and then we're going to pull those up for the one time. Cut.
No, fuck you.
Here's a fun bit of Cybertronian culture fun for you. The original Cybertronian language is glyph-based, which means it's, you know, patterns and such. But I believe that the spoken word, at least in its early forms, this is personal business. No fact nor backing for this, aside from the fact it'd be really cool. I believe that the original Cybertronian language, as it is spoken, should sound like an old internet, an old computer connecting to the internet, just because that is the sound of a computer connecting to a server. Why wouldn't a language of robots sound like that?
Why did you?
I don't know what this is, but
Why did you post a web driver
85K
torso?
views.
Tyler, you should listen to noise music.
Why did you post a
You should
web?
check out Merzbout.
Why did you post a web driver torso video in the Discord?
Jackson, if you know shit that sounds like this, literally please send
What
me
do the
links.
comments say?
Merzbout and Full of Hell are great.
similarly, Cybertronian music is also known to be very sound and noises based, but without much.
Canal delivering son de Giorgio. Thumbnail is clickbait.
Don't let TikTok find this song.
Discord for the one time.
God, okay.
Let's go.
Sir, this is my newer design of my newer OC. This is Oracle. Oracle is a Mars rover.
That's dope. What? Oh my god.
7 feet.
Oh wait! You told me about this
I
one.
like how you give all of your OCs like big, thick ass thighs.
I have a preference.
Let's go.
Oh, really?
Let's go. You
I
tell
missed
them.
entirely.
Always
So
communicate
real.
my fetishes through my OCs.
And now for this episode, the artist barely disguised fetish. Hell yeah.
Hell.
I
Dan
thought that
Schneider
the
for
idea-
reals.
Okay, so design notes for Oracle. Wilco is made to look like a fairy. Oracle is designed to look like a doll. I tried to convey this through. Tyler, can you take a step to the right because I'm not sure if they can see it in the back. So I wanted to make Oracle resemble a doll because in their story, they are a machine that was touched by the L-Spark. This is Transformers animated continuity business again. The L-Spark gets broken into fragments. It's not really important how it happens. You just have to know that the fragments turn machines into Cybertronians upon contact. These are now machines that have sparks and have energon flowing through them and sentience and such. And I thought to myself, hey, if I'm a fucking machine and then one day a chunk of metal hits me and I am now alive and like sapient and shit, I would interpret that as a religious experience amongst robots.
That's so fucking yeah.
I think exploring consciousness amongst robots and other sorts of machinery is really cool. And I think that a Mars rover, a la Curiosity, in which it is given an entire planet to just sit there and happily do the thing it was created to do.
Philip K. Dick is coming in his grave.
I don't know what that word
I'm
means.
talking about dead people ejaculate.
I don't know what that means. However,
Dope ass
I thought it would be really cool if now a Mars rover is just sitting on a planet, having fun, living life. So Oracle is a very peaceful creature, I think.
Why aren't you writing for Transformers?
Because then I'd have to write.
So true.
Oracle's supposed to look like something that was designed by a person. So Oracle has most Cybertronians have a very distinct, clear, streamlined look about them. You know? 2 eyes, audioles, lots of posable servos, and most importantly, a clear, distinct face. because Cybertronians make their entire culture around the fact that they have bodies and that they are energy energy inside a shell that is literally supposed to be able to interface with others. Having a body that isn't as expressive is actually like a form of punishment for them. There's a thing called Emperata. It's a punishment for criminals in which they will take away your face and give you only an eye, and they will take away your finger digits, and they will reduce the number of fingers you have to make you look less like a person.
Man, I love them.
That's a genuine... and that's not like a, hey, Deion, are you doing Fanon? That's what happened to Shockwave.
Yo, they turned him into an ultra kill? That's crazy.
Damn.
Shockwave was a criminal, and his punishment was Emperata.
Wait. Because Shockwave is the most, rule-obeying fuck in the Decepticon army.
It's almost like individuality is a main staple of the Cybertronian race. That's
Wait
what's
a
crazy.
second, wait. This is so fucking cool. What was his original crime? Yo!
I don't know personally. I'm sure it's somewhere, but Emperata, that's Shockwave's thing. He is a criminal. He was punished. He now is experiencing Emperata. I figured that a design like that drew elements from that, for a Cybertronian would be cool, because it represents their distinction from both machines and Cybertronians. Amongst machines, this is not a machine anymore. It is thinking for itself. It can choose to completely disobey its original programming. This is something else entirely. But to a Cybertronian, this is not a Cybertronian. Namely because she's not from Cybertron. She was made on Earth and she lives on Mars. This is a human creation. This is what Oracle originally looked like. Most Cybertronians have, this is the base form. This is what Oracle turns into. This is how they look most times. But, yeah. So Oracle's currently living on Mars in seclusion from both humanity and Cybertronians, and they're having a great time about it.
Nice.
Michael Bay, if you're watching, take notes.
But yeah, so design notes, hand.
Are you left-handed?
I'm not.
Okay.
I was trained in boxing, so I like to hold things in the hand that I know I can get more power behind.
Well, because you were pointing with this hand.
That's
I was
because-
looking at it, I was like, huh, I wouldn't do that.
I want to play you in chess, but not in boxing.
Well, you don't play boxing. Unless you're Matt from Wii Sports Resorts.
Hell
Logan
yeah.
Paul plays boxing.
Man, I
Logan
can't
Paul
wait to
plays
see
boxing.
Logan Paul get
Logan
his head
Paul
blown
does.
off.
I hope they just knock his head clean
I can't
out like
wait
a
to
sock,
see
like
Logan
a
Paul
fucking
get
rock and
Literally
socket.
die.
Logan Paul, in the ring, is gonna pull out a fucking pistol and shoot Mike Tyson.
And then Mike Tyson's gonna catch it in his mouth.
Cage.
But yeah, so there are also other elements to Oracle's design that I thought were really cool for me. For example, most Cybertronians have an underlayer under their plating referred to as proto-mesh. It is a soft material that's metallic still, but it's soft, it bends, it's a little squishy. Oracle has none of that. The only squishy bits are right here. This is hard metal, all the way to the core. Including their ball joints. Those are also, that's gonna fall.
God.
Tyler, I swear to God.
What are you doing?
Tyler,
Playing with fire.
Tyler, I took my citalopram today. It hasn't kicked in.
Yo, I love that medication. It makes me not see fucking shadow people. God bless escotalopram. Seriously, God fucking bless.
So, Oracle looks like this. I also have a less referencey looking version of this one. So Oracle is currently sending you a postcard from Mars, and they wish you were here.
You know that rover that was it's dark and my battery's running low?
That was the idea.
Yo,
So Oracle's thing.
call for me.
So Oracle's original thing was that they were on Mars like Curiosity. Their solar panels were being covered by sand, and they were just dying. They're a machine. They know what's happening. They sent a message to Mission Control like, hey, I'm finished. I'm cooked.
Wallahi, I'm finished.
Optimus Prime would have saved him!
So, first off, back then, Oracle's a machine. Second off, I don't think NASA Mission Control would... If they had the ability to tell Optimus Prime, like, hey, we've got a robot that's just, like, sitting there covered with sand, I think he'd be too busy trying not to get shot in the face by Megatron's cannon.
No!
Wait, how
Optimus
does
Prime
Optimus
leaves
Prime-
no one behind! Optimus Prime would have intercepted the message and saved him!
Deep breath.
No! I don't breathe!
You should start doing that. That's a really good thing for you to do.
How does Optimus Prime view his lesser machines?
With empathy and love!
So, I will say this. When Oracle was just a machine, out of curiosity, I believe that the folks at NASA, because it's... Oracle is made by the American space program known as NASA.
This is the subplot Hidden Figures needed.
Yeah, and it's aside from acknowledging black women in aerospace and such, they should make a side movie where it just focuses on this fucking robot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to Roland for completing the naming challenge and not naming a single
It only took
person
him 2
from Hidden
hours.
Figures.
From what?
Hidden Figures.
I don't know these things.
You should-
I'm not familiar.
We should.
I don't know these things.
Wasn't Jack Black's mom there too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's
isn't Hidden
crazy.
Figures the book that you is based off of? Or am I
No.
thinking of something else?
You think it has something else.
Hidden Figures is a movie about the black woman that made the moon landing possible.
Oh, I watched the movie adaptation. The shit was dope.
Tyler, for the love of God.
It was like Tanisha. Arnold.
Don't worry, God loves me very much.
Tyler.
Oh my god.
Tyler.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Tyler. Look at me. I have an anxiety disorder. You are making me nervous.
I think it's cool.
If it helps, it's my camera.
It doesn't. You don't know why it doesn't help?
Why?
'Cause it's my video. So, what was I saying? Fuck. Thanks for the
Hidden
derail.
Figures. Was that Tanisha Arnold, or am I getting her mixed up with someone
Thinking
else?
of Hidden Bodies.
My
is
deck
what I was thinking.
Colvin is a different woman entirely. So, Catherine, that's her name. So, I believe that Oracle, is a machine,
wow.
ran the numbers and said, hey
Taraji P.
NASA,
Henson.
wallahi, I'm finished. And NASA was like, because if we are remembering our space history, when the Curiosity robot, or was it Observation? I don't remember which. One of the Mars rovers is just gonna fucking die, and it was telling NASA, wallahi, I'm finished. And NASA was like, no, please, it can't be. Sending it messages, telling it to get up, sending it a soundtrack on Spotify, like, please wake up, Curiosity, we miss you. Doing everything in their power to save that robot that still died anyway.
Do they know it's a transformer?
So, this hasn't happened yet. This is background knowledge. So, they're telling the robot, like, please, love of God, get up.
So wait, they're telling, as far as they know, it's still a rover.
That's because it is still a rover.
Okay.
It has not become a Cybertronian yet. So, talking to the robot, like, please, we love you, don't do this to us, dies anyway, and then the Allspark fragment comes into contact after the robot's dead, basically. That wakes them up, brings them back to life a la Evanescence, wake me up inside.
Like Jesus in Easter.
Lol.
And on the third
Like
day,
Sweet
Oracle rose. And now Oracle is, like, alive and can think for themselves and such.
So weird.
And the first thing they see upon, coming back to life is the messages of their creators desperately saying, we're gonna do everything in our power to save you, and we're not gonna let you, I'm gonna get you out of there, bro, you don't deserve to live like that. If I were a robot, I'd be pretty stoked. If I were a robot, I'd be pretty stoked. I'd be like, oh man, I am God's favorite, aren't I? And that's the concept for Oracle. Oracle believes that they are in fact God's favorite, and you know what? I created them and they're my favorite, therefore they're right.
That's a really good point.
So now it's time for a speed paint. This is gonna take a minute. So this is the art process that we did. That I did for Wilco during this lecture. This is about a minute-long video. Nothing's happening for a while, but you know.
The people watching are not doing anything with their life. They have time.
Yeah, they can look at this. I can also... This video is sent, so you could also just, like, edit it over top. Methinks.
Nah.
It's already there.
He's editing this on like 2013 Sony Vegas.
Fuck you! One day I'm gonna get a job and we're gonna get Premiere again.
We can just
Do you not have Premiere?
right?
Yeah, you do have Premiere though. You told us you have Premiere.
Like, barely. It's at my school. I have to port the fucking footage on a flash drive to the
Oh,
building.
dude. I thought, can't you just log into your school?
No!
That's not how it works.
No!
And that's the whole of it.
How much is Premiere?
Too much fucking money. God hates me.
The
How
video
much
is
is
ended.
Premiere, bro?
I want an editing
So,
software.
Don't pay for Premiere.
How do
Wait, do you
pirate
have a
that?
torrent?
Pre for Premiere.
I can find one.
Okay,
Hey, if
find
you're
us-
serious, Ed, do it. I need
Yeah, and
it.
let's say that live on YouTube so it's on recording.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I have one more image.
As your lawyer,
Sure.
it's chill.
I'm joking, you guys. I'm joking. In Minecraft.
Tyler is Saul Goodman.
We're gonna pirate
This
in
is
Minecraft.
just
I am
sketch,
not
a funny
soup.
sketch of Oracle. They are not soup. Me when I am not soup.
Same, bro.
Just like
Oracle is a
me.
Twitch streamer.
Live Oracle reaction, BT dubs.
Oracle and like Miss Dr. Manhattan doing a stream on Mars.
What if you were Oracle and you were chilling, minding your own business, and this blue fucker shows up and he's just like, "Oh, what's up, Oracle?" And
It's like penis in full view.
you're like, "You don't have a panel for that, dude? Get that thing away." And he's just like staring at you, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, Oracle?" He daps you up.
Dr. Manhattan is like, I'm depressed, life has no meaning.
Dr. Manhattan does not say, "I'm depressed, life has no meaning." Dr. Manhattan says, "I'm happy, life has no meaning."
Dr.
Thumbs up.
Manhattan was depressed as fuck until we like beat
Thumbs
it
up,
into his
nothing
head
in
that
life
Earth matters.
matters.
No, that's not true!
Thumbs up, nothing in life matters, therefore all you can do is have fun.
Everything matters, be kind to each other!
Hey, you watched Everything Everywhere All at Once with me. Nothing matters, so everything matters. It's the same thing.
Damn, you're right.
What if you were a robot? And you were built for one purpose. And that was to pick up rocks, to take photos of your beautiful, beautiful landscape. And you had an entire planet, and you were built to survive in the crushing pressures of space by yourself just to do that. Because your creator said to you, "Show me the stars." And you said, "Okay." You'd be Oracle.
Well, I wouldn't
And you'd
think
be
because
happy.
I'd be a robot.
Well, now you're thinking,
Thank
and you're
you,
happy.
Roland. I agree with you, actually.
I'm a robot.
I believe
POV,
that
you haven't read Nick Land and you think robots can't think.
Robots can't think, Tyler.
Robots can't think. Robots can't think, but I believe in
Based
their
on
robotic art
facts.
that they don't have, that every robot would feel a sense of satisfaction at being able to complete their job, and that if you stop a robot from doing a thing it was built to do, it gets pissed at you.
Xeon
Not
Blue!
actually pissed at you, but I think every robot at the end of the day wants to function. Just cut and dry. Simple as that. Machines want to work. And if you're given a whole planet to work, I'd be a happy machine.
But like,
This has been Shaka You.
does this knife block want to think?
Well, first off,
Or want to succeed?
you're doing it with your hands, therefore that's you putting in the effort. This machine doing it for itself.
Or what about like, you know, the PowerPoint? Does that want to succeed?
I believe that the computer that runs the PowerPoint wants to succeed, yes.
That's really interesting. Jackson, did you see where the other part of the
If it's-
clock went?
If a computer didn't want to work, they wouldn't. That's just how that works. If a computer, like, it's like this. When a computer doesn't work, when its screen glitches, it's still trying to do the thing. Something's stopping it for sure. And if that thing weren't stopping it, it would do the thing.
Does that mean you think, like, single-cell organisms have want and desire?
I believe that if they didn't, they wouldn't continue existing, just because I feel as though bumping into things and occasionally opening your mouth, like, yeah, that's a way of living, but, like, to what end? If all you're meant to do in this world is to consume and multiply and conquer, and you do those things, congratulations, you've done the things.
Has that been shocking you?
I think that's Shaka you.
Wait, content.
Content! For context, I'm in a Transformers server. It's wonderful. I love it. The people there are so talented and they're so nice to me, even though I don't know that much about the Transformers continuity sometimes. They're really patient with me and they teach me all their business. And sometimes they draw my OCs.
Yep.
Ooh.
Smiles. So, this was art made by my friend. Gaze upon it in despair.